versus film.
Hi, I'm Graham. Welcome back to Man vs Film. This is going to be a movie review for X-Men Apocalypse. Directed by Bryan Singer, the man that brought us X-Men 1, 2, Days of Future Past, At Pupil, and one of my all-time favourite movies, The Usual Suspects. The movie stars Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, James McAvoy, Oscar Isaac, Nicholas Hoult, Rose Byrne, Evan Peters, Ty Sheridan, Sophie Turner and Cody Smith-McPhee. X-Men Apocalypse is all about that character Apocalypse, the very first mutant recorded at any point in time. He has been awoken after a millennia of sleep to be disgusted at the way the world has turned out, to see the blight that humans have caused upon this world, and he decides to take it upon himself to rid the world of all the humans. And with that, he's going to get a team of 4 mutants with him, some of the most powerful ones on the planet. He's going to make them more powerful, and it's up to the X-Men to unite to rid the world of this foe and stop them from destroying humanity once and for all. As Jean Grey states in the movie, the third part of a trilogy is always the worst. And if that was the filmmaker's intent, then they have lived up to that. It is by far the worst of these 3 short trilogy of X-Men movies. That's not to say it's a terrible movie, it's just not as good as First Class or Days of Future Past. One of the best things about this series is the casting of Michael Fassbender as Magneto. His character, once again, is the best thing about it. His acting ability just raises the movie exponentially. Fassbender gives Magneto a kind of depth that these comic book villains very rarely ever get. You actually sympathise with the man's plight, and although he is doing the wrong thing, you understand why he's doing it. You get a look into that whole character. Now, if only the rest of the cast or the rest of the characters were as rich as Magneto, would be on a fantastic movie, but unfortunately that doesn't come to fruition. I really liked the first half of the movie. I thought it moved along at blistering pace. It set up all the characters and placed them all where they were within this timeline and how they were all going to have to come together. And it set up the villain as being a very interesting villain. You also get to see new cast members introduced and how they interact with the older guard. And they do quite well, although I do feel that the older guard like Fassbender, McAvoy, Lawrence have a little bit more charisma than what these younger characters do. But I don't know if the younger characters have been sidelined a little because of these main players. And maybe if Fassbender and McAvoy don't come back, they may grow into the roles a little bit better. The last half of the movie is where it became a trudge to get through. It was an actual chore. It became muddled. It became just throw CGI at the screen. It falls under this really familiar trait where you have this baddie and the X-Men try to take him down, but they can't. They have to come together as a team to take down this vicious foe, and it just seems like that's what happens in every other X-Men movie. But for me, it comes down to such a busy climax that your attention is divided between all these different threads and you never really have any weight within any one scene. Take the climax for instance. You have Apocalypse and you have the 4 Horsemen, his warriors. And then you have the X-Men coming in the battle between these two, which is simple enough. One team of people against another, but it's not as simple as that. You have each of the 4 Horsemen fighting various X-Men. You have Nightcrawler trying to get to Xavier to save him. You have Xavier having a mind battle with Apocalypse while Apocalypse battles everybody else as well. You have Magneto destroying a city. There's so much going on, and it doesn't focus on any one of these long enough for you to actually get involved in what's going on screen. You just see snippets and it's just, oh, that's cool CGI. Yeah, kind of like it, but there's not really any substance behind this. Now, Apocalypse for me as a villain started off pretty cool when it was Egyptian time at the prologue of the movie, but very quickly became bland and uninteresting. He had these sort of powers of most of the mutants that we've seen in the X universe, and he doesn't really wield them. You know he's strong, you know he's powerful, but you just wish that there was a scene with him decimating a landscape just to show how much power that he does have. They do it in some scenes where he can drop out a room full of people just by the wave of a hand, but it would have been better if he destroyed a full city with the wave of his hand, and you've seen the destruction that he can cause. There's no real threat behind him, and he has most of his horsemen doing all the work. I didn't feel like he was a genuine threat. Now, First Class and Days of Future Past were specifically set in eras. You had First Class in the 60s, you had Days of Future Past in the 70s. And they used tropes of music, technology, clothes, hairstyles, all that to really enrich the story and have some like fun throwback moments. This one is set in the 80s, and apart from a couple of things, you would never really know that it could be set in any time period, and I felt it just missed that little bit of detail. After the success of Quicksilver in Days of Future Past, it was a no-brainer that he was going to get a bigger role this time around, and he does so in a 3.5 minute breathtaking sequence, which is absolutely fantastic and the standout of the movie. Unfortunately, it comes about 2/3 into the movie, and that is the best scene. X-Men Apocalypse is an okay movie. It's going to fall midway in the franchise. You know, it's definitely better than Part 3. It's nowhere near as good as First Class in my opinion. If you're an X-Men fan or you like comic book movies or blockbuster movies, then you'll probably get something out of this, and I urge you to go and see it in a big screen because it's worth seeing. It's not as fantastic as we hoped. I think we're getting a little bit too overindulged in fantastic comic book movies that when one doesn't quite hit a home run, we feel let down a little bit. But I'm sure I'll go back to this in a year or two and probably enjoy most of it. For me, X-Men Apocalypse gets a 3 out of 5. It's good, not great. So that's my review of X-Men Apocalypse. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on it, and I will see you next time on Man vs Film. So thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you notice on screen, there is 2 more videos that you can click and watch at your leisure. There is also a large subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, I will forever be in your debt. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time on Man vs Film.